The students, having finished a poem after the Psalms, we shall now start story. I already sent 2 PDFs, one giving an introduction to the author and the story, and another one giving some important question answers. Those of you who have gone through it will find it easy. Others also can catch up with it. We shall start with the introduction of Quality. The name of the story is Quality. The author is John Galsworthy. First we shall look at the author and the main purpose of his writing and the main theme that he deals with. John Galsworthy, born on August 14th, 1867 in Kingston Hill, Surrey, England, and died on January 31st, 1933 in Grove Lodge, Hampstead, was an English novelist and playwright, winner of the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1932. He was a popular figure because he won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1932. So John Galsworthy, 1867 to 1933, English novelist and English playwright. He wrote both novels and plays, born in England. He is a lawyer turned writer. By profession he was a lawyer, then he became a writer. He came from a newly rich upper middle class commercial family. Trained as lawyer, he switched to writing as soon as his father died. So maybe he must have felt writing must be a better way of making money. So he left his job of being a lawyer and started to write. His works mainly deal with the social class system prevalent at that time, concentrating especially on the upper middle class to which his own family belonged. So there were the rich people, there were the poor, then there were middle class people. And there is a new class called upper middle class, newly came up upper middle class family. Suppose the normal division is 3, upper class, lower class and middle class. This is lower upper. So middle class, upper middle. What is meaning by upper middle? Among the middle class there is one section which is little above than the others. They are the newly rich people who have become rich recently because of commerce followed by the Industrial Revolution. You see, John Galsworthy lived in 1867 to 1933. So towards the end of 1800s, 1880, you have the Industrial Revolution, followed by there was a great thriving in commerce business. So the people, middle class people who involved in business and made lot of fortune, they are the upper middle class commercial families. See, his concentration is on them. His works mainly deal with the social class system prevalent at that time, concentrating especially on the upper middle class to which his own family belonged. He was also one of them. Although he treated his characters sympathetically means showing sort of pity, feeling with them for their misfortune with the character. For example, here, Gessler brothers, their misfortune, he could feel with them and express their emotions and feelings. So although he treated his characters sympathetically, he highlighted their narrow-minded snobbishness and suffocating moral values. What is snobbishness? Snobbishness is the arrogance and pride. You feel, yes, somebody is feeling proud of himself or themselves and considering others lower than themselves. I consider myself superior and somebody else as inferior. That kind of feeling is called snobbishness. It's a class distinction. I belong to higher class, others all belong to lower class. They are lower than me. That kind of feeling is called snobbishness. He highlighted their narrow-minded snobbishness and suffocating moral values. Moral values were dying, projecting their accusative tendencies as morally wrong. What is accusative tendencies? Accusative tendencies are tendencies of acquiring money, making material gains. That is accusative. Making material gains. So the people's tendency of making money at the cost of values. That is, by sacrificing values, they make money. That was condemned by John Galsworthy. He said they are morally wrong. At the same time, he also campaigned for a variety of causes such as women's rights and animal protection through his writings. So he was a supporter of women and their rights. All these issues, plus many more related to the hardships faced by people in changing times, are to be found in his short stories as well. Changing times is the times that followed Industrial Revolution and the changes that brought in society. John Galsworthy is best remembered for his trilogy. Is pronounced as trilogy. That is a combination of three novels or three movies or three stories like that. Normally novels or drama or movies. Trilogy. John Galsworthy is best remembered for his trilogy, the Forsyth Saga, chronicling the life of three generations in an upper middle class extended family similar to his own. So in his trilogy he writes about three generation people. People belong to three generations. The Skin Game 1920 and Loyalties 1922 are two of his best known plays. His play Justice led to present reforms. So he was also a social reformer. His plays, the ideas he treated, or the truths he brought out through his writings, brought about a lot of changes in jail, prison, reforms. Prison was reformed. New rules and regulations were introduced, having influenced by the writings of John Galsworthy. When in 1917 he was offered a knighthood, he rejected it, saying writing was an author's greatest reward. So he considered writing itself is a reward. I don't need a reward. So he refused to receive the knighthood. It's a great honor. However, he later accepted the order and merit and also the Nobel Prize. Later he accepted it. In the narrative story Quality, the story which we are going to deal with, published in 1912, Galsworthy poses the issue of the hardships that true artists have to face in a shallow, money-mad world that attaches little importance to the ideals of quality and excellence. So that is the main theme. I will explain it. So he lived in a society, a newly rich upper middle class. I already explained. That is his main concern. And social class system affected by commerce and industrial revolution. Now what is the quality is about hardships faced by true artists in a society. There are true artists who would like to keep up their quality and excellence. Such people were finding it difficult because Industrial Revolution had brought in lot of changes. People were after money. Mass ways of producing things started. Mass production of goods. So, quality was compromised. So, 4 points, I have noted down 4 points. The theme. What is he treating or what is he writing about? The arrogant and pride, that is superior info. The arrogant and pride attitude of the people. Arrogant and pride attitude. That is snobbishness. Snobbishness. Snobbishness is there in your introduction. Arrogant and pride. People are arrogant and pride because they have a feeling of inferior and superior. Second one is diminishing moral values. Moral values are becoming lower and lower, slowly disappearing. Diminishing moral values. And the third one is excessive interest in making money. Excessive interest. There is nothing wrong in making money. Business is meant for profit. But you should not exploit others and make money. Your success should not be at the cost of somebody else's failure or death. So, he calls it money mad world. Money mad world. The only aim is to make money. No moral values. No concern for others. So that was condemned. And the fourth one is sacrifice of quality and excellence. So this is also a very main theme. Sacrifice of quality and excellence. There were some people who tried to keep up the quality and excellence, but there were many who were ready to sacrifice quality and excellence. So John Galsworthy is for the quality and excellence. He is praising the great quality. So we shall see. We begin the story. I knew him from the days of my extreme youth because he made my father's boots. Inhabiting with his elder brother 2 little shops let into one in a small by street, now no more, but then most fashionably placed in the West End. A beautiful starting, opening lines. I knew him. I knew him. Who is that? It will come later. Normally we don't begin with the pronoun. First we have to introduce the person, then you can use pronoun. But here very strangely he starts, I knew him from the days of my extreme youth. Extreme youth means when he was very young. Because he made my father's boots. How did he know him? Because he has been making his father's boots. Where did they live? Inhabiting. Living with his elder brother, 2 little shops let into one. 2 little shops let into one means 2 shops combined into one. In a small by street, now no more. That by street is no more existing. It existed, now it is not there. But then most fashionably placed in the West End. You know that in every city there are posh areas and areas which are not so posh. Posh means very rich, polish. Posh area means where all the rich things will be sold, costly things will be sold, and people have to spend a lot of money to buy things. So all the costly things and high fashioned or highly priced things will be sold in one part of the city. We call it the shoppies of the city. So that was at the West End and this shop was there. That tenement and a certain quiet distinction, there was no sign upon its face that he made for any of the royal family, merely his own German name of Gessler brothers. and in the window a few pairs of boots. So that tenement had a certain quiet distinction. What is a tenement? Tenement is a group of shops forming a separate residing area within the block. So that is a selected area. So in that tenement, that particular area had certain quiet distinction. There was no sign upon its face that he made for any of the royal family, merely his own German name of Gessler Brothers, and in the window a few pairs of boots. That is to say, normally they give big advertisements, big endorsements, some famous personalities. The shop's name will be there, then they will add some addition to it. For example, if they are foot makers, they will say, we make footwears for the royal family. That is for the kings. We are the ones who make boots for the kings. Or we are the people who make boots for the rich and the fashionable people. Like that, there will be some extra things written. But very strangely, Gessler's brothers had nothing of that sort. Then what was written in the board in front of the shop? Merely his own German name of Gessler Brothers. They were from Germany and came and settled down in London. So they had just written Gessler Brothers. That's all. Nothing. No other explanation. And in the window a few pairs of boots. A few pairs of boots were exhibited at the window. Otherwise no showcase, no exhibitions, no attraction, nothing to attract people. Because they were not interested in attracting people by using all these means. I remember that it always troubled me to account for those unvarying boots in the window. For he made only what was ordered, reaching nothing down, and it seemed so inconceivable that what he made could ever have failed to fit. So unvarying boots. Unvarying means non-changing. Non-changing. Unvariable boots. So you did not find different varieties of boots, we did not find at the window. Very few. Why? What was the reason? He made boots only when it was ordered. When people order for certain boots, they will make. Nothing more. Extra is not made, nothing is exhibited. And it seemed so inconceivable. Can't understand that what he made could ever have failed to fit. They made only according to the order, and what they made was always fitting. It never failed. Had he bought them to put there? That too seemed inconceivable. So did he buy to put them at the windows? No, that also cannot be explained, cannot be understood. He would never have tolerated in his house leather on which he had not worked so expressively. He would never have tolerated in his house leather on which he had not worked himself. So is there a possibility that he bought some boots and exhibited them at the window? No, it is not possible, because he would not stomach such ideas. He would never have tolerated. Tolerate means to bear with. He would have never tolerated in his house leather on which he had not worked himself. That is, he would exhibit only boots which were made by his own hand, nobody else. So he will not buy and exhibit it. Besides, other than that, they were too beautiful. The pair of pumps so inexpressibly slim. The pumps is speaking about the heels, the heel of the shoe. Heel is very important for a shoe. The heel is very important, should be comfortable. So, besides they were too beautiful. The pair of pumps so inexpressibly slim. You can't even express. So slim. You make it very slim heels. The patent leathers with closed top, making water come into one's mouth. The patent leathers, patent rights. One has the patent rights for things what they have invented or discovered. Invented. Patent rights. Here, that means high quality leather. High quality leather only was used. He wouldn't use anything and everything. Only high quality leather was used. And it had cloth tops. On the top of the leather there were cloth pieces attached. Making water come into one's mouth. Normally when you look at something that is very tasty, edible things, your mouth will water. But the author says, he made the shoes such a way, the boots were so good that when people looked at it, their mouths were watering. Such a delicious items they were. The tall brown riding boots with marvelous sooty glow, as if though new they had been worn 100 years. So he is speaking about different types of boots. One such type is sooty glow. The tall brown riding boots. Boots meant for riding. That is riding boots. There are boots meant for normal wear, for riding, for the office. You have office shoes. So like that. So here he is speaking about the riding boots with marvelous sooty glow. Sooty is a color, either it's black or brown or blemish. Brown or blemish color is called sooty. Let's put it brown, brownish. Boots with marvelous brownish glow, as if though new they had been worn 100 years. They were new ones, but it looked as if they have been worn for 100 years. 100 years. Those pairs could only have been made by one who saw before him the sole of boot. So truly were they prototypes incarnating the very spirit of all footgear. So the author is playing on the word sole. Those pairs could only have been made by one who saw before him the sole of boot. So truly were they prototypes incarnating the very spirit of all footgear. So what is footgear? Footgear is a mechanical instrument used to give pressure or to raise pressure. So footgear. So what he is trying to say is that those pairs could only have been made by one who saw before him the sole of boot. S-O-U-L, sole. Atma. The sole of boot means the essence of boot. But so boots are made with sole, S-O-L-E. So he is using only patent leather. So one who has seen the essence of the sole, one who could imagine the essence of the boot, only could make such wonderful boots. Those pairs could only have been made by one who saw before him the sole of boot. So truly were they prototypes incarnating the very spirit of all footgear. Those days, footgear was not there. Footgears came later. But they were prototypes, means, you know what is prototype is that which came before. The first ones. The first ones. Pro is before. Prototypes means you can say the beginners, the very beginners, starters. You can say starters. So prototypes means starters incarnating the very spirit of all footgear. Footgear came much later. So they were prototypes, the first forms of footgears. We shall stop here today. Thank you.